Welcome back to the Music City Surrey Showcase. We are so glad to have you here with us, sponsored by the City of Surrey, and extra special thank you to Creative BC for helping us make this happen. We are so excited to showcase musicians that we love that are a part of this musical economy here in Surrey. My name is Keely Rampage-Scott, and today I am back in the FUSIONpresents studio with the incredible Kylie V. Kylie, it is so nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you too. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, so what we're basically doing with this series is walking our audience through what artists from last season have gotten up to in the time since we filmed, which for you, it's been a lot. I think we were just having a quick conversation too about all the stuff that you've been doing lately, and you've been busy.
I've been busy.
You've been so busy. I think you were on the cusp of releasing your debut record, Big Blue, when we were last here, and now it's out, and it has garnered, what is it, 800,000 streams?
Approximately.
That's incredible. How does that feel to have such a strong debut?
Ridiculous. Yeah. It feels crazy.
Yeah. Like,
I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
And I also have not processed it, and I probably never will. It's just going to keep existing.
That's awesome. So on the tail of that, what are your plans now for releasing music? I know that it was the 20th today of November. So on November 18th, you released your newest single, Catherine. Is Catherine part of a bigger project that's coming?
Yes. Catherine is technically the lead single off of an EP that I'm going to be releasing early next year. There's one more single coming out in January. It's called Runaway.
Yeah.
It's coming out right before my birthday in exactly 2 months.
Awesome.
And after that EP, it comes the whole sophomore album process. I'm not going to say exactly when and what, obviously, because we're still in the process of recording it. But I'm very excited. It's going to be a big project. Cool. I have a lot of work to do.
Who are you working with on that?
I'm working with Josh Eastman at Helm Studios. Yeah. He's fantastic. I don't know if you've
Yeah. I haven't met him, but I know Josh and his work for sure.
He's so good.
Yeah. So what's it like collaborating with him on that? Is it you doing most of the writing and producing, or does he do some of it too? Or?
I do all my own writing and usually like the basic chords at least, and then a concept. Some things I bring in with more substance to them than others, but like all of my lyrics are entirely me, and then we usually arrange things together. Yeah. Cool.
So is the genre kind of the same as Big Blue? Or are you sticking to the same realm?
Sort of. Yeah. This EP got like weirdly country in the studio.
Yeah.
Well, which I'm really excited about actually. But the album is probably going to be a little poppier, a little like a little more polished and produced.
Yeah.
More keys.
Cool. So country EP.
Yeah.
I want to touch on that a little bit because I know you just did a show on Monday, was it?
Yeah.
Where you did a Chicks album.
Yeah.
And you were performing, and there was also a drag show.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I have done, that's my second one now. I've been doing these basically like drag cabarets at the Heart in Gastown, hosted by Sleepy Queers Productions, and which is run by Dust Quain, who just released their debut album, Arcana. They're one of my best friends in the scene. They're just such a fantastic person and artist and drag performer.
Yeah. And
those shows are always so much fun because they're usually like themed after a certain artist or band. We did a Lilith Fair one.
Cool.
There was a Taylor Swift one that I unfortunately was sick for, and then the Chicks. There are a few more coming up I can't remember, but yeah, it's always just a ridiculously fun time.
Are you gonna be part of more of them moving forward then?
Yeah, definitely. I just let them email me.
Cool. And I'm guessing you got involved with that through your friend then?
Yes.
Cool.
I believe Josh and Dust are best friends. Yeah. So that's how that was connected. And
cool.
Yeah. Josh also worked on Arcana. Fantastic album. Let me shout them out.
Love that. Yeah, we love it when people shout out other artists. That's awesome. So what about other future plans then? Do you have any more shows coming up that you're excited about then?
Yeah, for like local people, on January 28th of 2023, I am doing a Helm Studios fundraiser / my 19th birthday bash at Redgate.
Yeah.
Cool. It's going to be me, Miguel Maravilla, my friend Nolan Faye, and a special guest that I cannot reveal.
Ooh, interesting. Enticing.
Enticing. I hope so.
Enticing to wait around and hear more about that one for sure. So speaking of performances, I also know that you did a KEXP session. I want to hear so much about how that came about, what it was like. So please tell me more about it.
Oh my God. That was definitely one of the proudest moments of my career so far.
Oh,
one of the highlights. I screamed out loud when I got that email.
Yeah.
The way it came about for me was I am like sort of pals with DJ Abby from KEXP, who ended up doing the interview. I believe she also does like social media for Sub Pop, and she's just wonderful. She recommended me, and they got in touch. Since it was like the height of the pandemic, I recorded it with Joe and Noah at KW Studios in downtown Vancouver, and with Benny and Christian from Sleepy Gonzales, and Tegan Walgren of the Project Walgren on violin, who also does all of my violin on my recordings. Yeah. We sent it off, got it like mixed and edited by them. I got a shout out from the one and only Cheryl Waters, which I'm still thinking about. It's been like a year, but I love her so much.
Yeah. Well, that's just such a huge accomplishment to get on a session that big, especially like, and you're looking at the listens that your album has racked up.
It's ridiculous.
It's like to get that kind of exposure to a wider audience like that in this scene is so special. And
it really is. I'm so grateful.
Like, I just can't wait to see what you do next, honestly. Because you're only going to continue to go up from here. Because Big Blue is such an amazing, concise album. And you were telling me before that you were 15 when you first started writing it, too.
Yeah.
So that's insane to think about.
Thank you so much.
Like, what have you always been a songwriter?
Yeah.
From a young age?
Sort of?
Yeah. Are there songs that didn't make it on the album?
Oh, 100%. There are so many songs that didn't make it on the album. There were songs that didn't make it onto my first release, Lotus Eater, that are just never going to go anywhere. Yeah. There are songs that didn't make it onto Big Blue that are also never going to go anywhere. There are songs... I'm still in the process of, like, kind of arranging the track list for the next album, but for the most part it is, like, pretty solid. Yeah. And I would say there are at least 50 songs just sitting there that are probably never going to go anywhere.
How do you choose what you do and don't use?
Some of them I just like more than others.
Fair enough.
Honestly, I write so much, and there's so many things that just either never get finished or just I write and I go, it's just kind of eh.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
I choose my favorites.
Yeah. What about a dream collaboration? Because you were saying the EP was more country, and now this is going more pop for your next record. And I know you've shouted out so many amazing local artists as well as not so local artists too. So I know that you've got so many influences everywhere. Yeah. Tell me about some of your dream collaborations for the future.
I think I'm just such a big music fan, just in general, because I can think of so many. I think I would die to do, like, any sort of musical collaboration with Connor Oberst. He's one of my biggest influences. Yeah. Bright Eyes. Cool. Better Oblivion Community Center, etc., etc. He's just so prolific and such a phenomenal songwriter. Cool. I would say that he's up there.
Nice. Any others?
One of my other, like, biggest influences and favorites, who's sort of newer and a little smaller, is Sami. I love her. She's phenomenal. She followed me on Instagram a little while ago, and I screamed in the break room at work, and people were like, "What's wrong?" and
Yeah.
I had to explain, and they did not get it. But I love her so much. She's phenomenal. Her album The Baby was a huge influence in the production of Big Blue and the songwriting on this album. Her new album Honey comes out like, I believe, the same day that we're doing my birthday show.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like immediately, as soon as that's done, hop in the car and blast that on the way home, obviously.
Nice.
Much to whoever is driving me, because I can't drive. Shout out to my family. I love you guys.
Family support is so
Family
insane.
first.
Family support is awesome. And your family is all musical too.
Yeah.
We've touched on this before, I think, in last year's interview, that your mom's in the scene, your dad's in the industry for years and years and years, right? So, or your grandpa, Sue. Sorry.
My grandpa,
yeah.
my dad. My
Yeah.
dad's a drummer.
Yeah.
My mom is a singer and voice actor. You know my mom.
Yeah.
You've taken vocal lessons from my mom. You've
sure
been in
have.
my house while I'm in pajamas.
Yeah. And I love your dog too.
Yeah. Shout out to my dog. I love her very much. Her name is Chai.
Yeah.
She's not very bright, but very, very kind.
There's always a way to make things sound complimentary. Love
She's
it.
pretty.
She's she's pretty cute. That's for sure.
She is.
Awesome. Well, last year and this year we've been asking everybody about a piece of advice that they would give to artists. And I know we asked you previously, but I'm curious to hear what you would say now with this added life experience.
I feel like I may not be the best well of advice, being this young and things just kind of happening all the time. But if there's one thing that I live by, and that I want every artist to also live by, is to, and this sounds incredibly cliche, but don't compromise your vision. If you want a song to sound like something, don't let whoever you're working with change that if you're not going to be happy with it. I was helping one of my friends, little cousins, navigate their first professional production experience, and they were like, I'm nervous to tell the producer that I don't like what they've done with this mix, and it was this whole stressful thing. It's okay. A good collaborator will understand that, and maybe it's a compromise situation, but yeah. I feel like if there's one thing I want all artists to know and to remember,
Yeah.
it would be, don't let anybody stand in the way, including yourself, of what you want a project to sound like or look like or read like, etc. Yeah.
There's only one you.
Exactly.
And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you like what you're putting out into the world, then somebody else is bound to. There's no situation in this universe where one person's interest is solely their interest and there's no one else that shares that.
Absolutely. And there's nothing better. It doesn't have to be technically good to be good art. It just needs to be genuine.
Yeah.
Just coming from the heart instead of what you think other people want to hear, or what you... Yeah, don't force yourself into any boxes. A true enjoyer of art and music wants to hear the genuine creation.
Totally. I completely agree. Well,
Thank
Kylie,
you,
thank you so much for joining us again. It was so lovely to have you back. I'm excited to hear you play your new single,
Yay.
Catherine, for us coming up here. Remind us, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me online at KylieVmusic.com and at Kylie V Music on all socials. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good. And of course, we will have all of their details linked in the bio of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of the Music City Surrey Showcase. We have an awesome performance from Kylie V coming up next, so stay tuned for that.
Catherine, none of us even like nicotine, but you bark and you bite like you've seen it all. I'm just happy to know someone's middle name. I'm happy to stand back and watch it all. I watch you grow up in a year or two. All your second guesses relate to me, and I wanna give you whatever you need. She's walking on water to you. She could be a good mother to you, and it always comes circling back to you, babe Catherine. There's humor in secrets and whirlwinds, and as a tornado comes touching down in a city where I've never been, I watch as you count every blessing. Baby, it's gonna be okay. I'll never stop loving you. And I'm walking on water to you. I just wanna see what you can do with the words in your mouth like a wound. Catherine, you see the beauty in everything, and you hear me vulnerable crying. You hold my hand through all the wreckage. The world that you wrote left me breathless. Will you help me weather this storm? My ship's leaving harbor like yours. I wanna believe for the first time you're far away home to me, and I'm walking on water to you. I'm broken and aching and blue, but I know you'd kiss every bruise. Sometimes you feel